I haven't sewn in a while, so I'm a little rusty, so I'll go a lot faster on my next project. I want a 5/8 seam. That's standard. So that's 1, 2, 3. So that's got to be about right there. That's 5/8. Okay. Let me just figure out where I usually have like a system. Okay, 5/8 would be this line right here. I'm going to take the fabric out there. I usually have a system where I follow a line when I sew so I can get the right seam. And it's been so long since I've sewn, I've forgotten where that line is. Okay, here's 5/8. Oh, it's right there where that dot is. That's the 5/8 seam. Okay. Yep, it's the dot. Okay, I have to remember that. Okay, I know where the 5/8. The standard seam allowance is 5/8, so you usually go by that unless, and the way you determine that is when the way you make sure it ends up that way is when you sew, you put the fabric in out to the lines. It got lines right here on the sewing machine, so I'm going to bring it out right that far, and that'll be 5/8. If I bring it in a little bit, it's kind of hard to see that line right there. See these lines here? If I bring the fabric right out there where that dot is, that's 5/8. So when I sew, I bring it out there and I keep it right on that line while I'm moving. And that's what I'm going to be doing right now. But I'm actually on a basting seam because that's what they say to do. So I've got it a very long length. It's a straight stitch. I'm going to have to pivot right here at the dot. That dot I can see is set at 5/8 seam. I'm new at this, so I'm going kind of slow. Once I get better at this, I'll be faster, I think. Okay, let's go all the way to that dot. Okay, there's the dot. Pull this out. Now let's pivot. It should be landing. Ah, perfect. It's landing right at 5/8. That's great. Let me go this way. Just go forward. Perfect. Okay, we did one side. Straight stitches are a lot easier than that finishing stitch. Working with this thin fabric is not a picnic, especially when you haven't sewn in a while. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Got my little garbage bag down here. And this is the front. And as you can see, this is the front, and I've got this side sewed. You can see right. Can't see it that good. That's a basting stitch, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay. I did a basting stitch right there, and you can't see it real good. This is the front. This is like I folded the front part. It's kind of hard to show when you only have. You need two people. Like I need a cameraman. Here's the other side, and so basically what I've done is, let's see if I can show here. This is the front, and I folded it back over. Kind of hard to show. I folded it. See, it's folded it back, and kind of basted that in place. Oh, it's hard. It's really hard. Anyways, the next thing I have to do now is the back facing. I've got to finish the long edge of the back facing. That's this step right there. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to get, you just gotta know if you can learn sewing by video or not. Once I do that, then I'm going to pin the back facing to the neck edge of back, matching center backs. Then I'm going to understitch the back facing, then turn facing to the inside and press. So that's what I'll be doing next. And okay. Okay, I'm finishing the long edge of the back facing using the same difficult maneuvering that I did on the other facing. Hoping I can make it through here without a jam. It's a challenge. I don't have one of those professional sewing machines, you know, like those, like they have at those. Not doing too bad with my little $100 singer though. I'll just continue here. Like I said, it's not ideal. It certainly doesn't look like a professionally, you know, like, but it'll at least keep it from raveling here. So now we'll go on to the next step, which is now I need to pin back facing to neck edge of back, matching center backs, stitch neck edge, trim seam allowance, and then understitch the back facing. So we'll do that next. What I've done here is I've pinned the right sides together of the back facing to the back of the fabrics. And what's going to happen is it's going to flip over like this, and that's going to be, this is the right side of the material right here. This is the wrong side here. So the two right sides are facing each other here. What I'm going to do is stitch right along here on the neck edge with a 5/8 seam and just go all the way across. See, all the way across there. I'm going to stitch with a 5/8 seam going right down. Oh, goodness, it's hard to, I'm holding the camera going right like that. And then I'm going to trim the seam allowance to close to the neck edge. And then when I flip it over, I'll understitch the back facing, and that'll keep this from raveling in here. So anyways, let me just go ahead and do the 5/8 seam right along there. That's what I'll be doing next. Hard to do this with one camera in one hand and trying to sew with the other. It's hard enough to sew this thing without trying to take pictures at the same time. Let's go ahead. Oh, I tell you, Zach Knight's messing with this camera. He is really messing with this camera. He's a character, man. I think he's messing with my sewing machine too, but I'm managing. Okay, let's pull this right here. This is tricky. This fabric wants to move on me. I need to concentrate on what I'm doing. Camera goes off. Ah! All right. Okay, I just sewed the back facing. Oh, man, this thing's acting up. This camera's acting up. Zach Knight's attacking this camera. I just did the back facing here. And what I'm going to do is trim this seam allowance down to about 1/4. I'm going to get scissors and cut this down. Then I'm going to fold this over and understitch, which means that I'm going to stitch going this way. You won't see it on the right side of the fabric, but that's just to keep this in place. And it's a stitch that goes right along there. But I need the ironing board right now, so I'm going to iron this back. Well, I'm going to trim the seam allowance first to about, you know, just cut that down. And this is all the way across. And then I'm going to pull this over and then understitch, which would mean doing a stitch right along here. So that's what I have to do next. Okay, let's trim the seam allowance. Let's go to about 1/4. I'm going to cut this all the way down. Okay, here we go with understitch. Let's get it right. This is going to be right at the right spot. Yep, I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. All right. I need better light. Sorry I've been putting glare on the camera, but I gotta see what I'm doing. This is detailed sewing here. All right, let's go this way. Okay. Gotta see what I'm doing. Okay, it's getting close to my bedtime, so I'm gonna have to quit pretty soon. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to stitch the shoulders. And I open out the back facing with the right sides facing together from the front and the back. I stitch the shoulders together. I already pinned them, so I would go this way and stitch the shoulders together. There's the right facing is out. Then after that, then I go over to this side, and then I pull the facing over this way. I would pull the facing over to the other side and then stitch it like, it's kind of hard to show. There. And then after I stitch the shoulders, then I'm going to take the facing, pull it over, and stitch it right up there in a line. It's going to make it kind of, see there, there are the instructions. And then after that, turn back facing the inside along. Okay. Okay, we're getting done with the front and the back, and then we do the sleeves tomorrow or some other day. So I'm going to just finish the front and the back, and then I'll work on the sleeves some other day. It's getting late. I try to go to bed early so that I can exercise. Here's how we're doing so far. I'm not going to turn around or I'll be immodest, but I've got the front and back attached at the shoulders, and some other day I'm going to work on the sleeves, and then I'll sew the side seams. I'm not going to turn around. I definitely don't want to make this any smaller. I'm hoping it's going to fit me. I think it will. Yeah, it's going to be a perfect fit. If I gain any more weight, no, you know. So here's how we are so far. Got the shoulders. Next I'm going to work on the sleeves, and then they do the sides, and then hem at the bottom. Then we're done. Took me forever because I haven't sewn in a while. All right. You're not going to believe this, but this pattern goofed. They didn't say this, but the next thing I'm supposed to do is sew the side seams. And they left that step out. Well, I'm going to do that next, probably tomorrow, sew the side seams. But I'm going to, because this is such a sheer fabric, I might use French seams, and I need to make it as narrow as possible because I pin the sides and I'm barely fitting into this. So I need all the material I can get. So what I'm going to do when I do the side seams, I'm going to go as narrow as I can go. The pattern left that out. They forgot in the instructions to tell me to go do the side seams next, but I read the whole thing, you know, to how to put this garment together, and I can tell the next step, the next thing I need to do is do the side seams. I can't believe it. The pattern, this is the first pattern I've seen where they omitted an important step. I was thinking, well, where do I do the side seams? And there's no place in there where they say to do the side seams. I'm going to do that, but I already know that's what I need to do next. So I will be doing that tomorrow. I'm running late. Oh, and it's going to need to be, because of the sheer fabric, I'm probably going to make it French seams, which means so that they're almost invisible to the outside, not anything wide. And then I have short flounce sleeves, so that's what I'll be doing tomorrow or some other day. Because I pinned the sides here and I am barely making it. I need to do like really narrow seams. I think I'm going to do French seams. I might even have to go narrower than that.